Okay, these are our notes for stem and leaf plots. This is chapter 10, stop 6. Okay, stem and leaf plots. A stem and leaf plot is a type of graph that is used to organize large data sets. Okay, large. Stem and leaf plots are used for large data sets so that they are easier to interpret. A stem and leaf plot summarizes the shape of the sets of data, and the data of a stem and leaf plot are always ordered from least to greatest and organized by place value. Okay, so we use a lot of place value like 1s and 10s and anything like that. Okay, so stem and leaf plots are used for large data sets. That's really the only time we use them, when we have a lot of numbers. Okay, so we're going to do an example and then we'll practice down below. So here's our steps that we're going to follow in order to make a stem and leaf plot. Step 1, always order the numbers from least to greatest. Okay, so let's go ahead and order these numbers from least to greatest. And I'm going to do that just right below. Okay, so from least to greatest, it looks like I start with 15. Then I've got a 16, 17, 18, 19, no 20, 21, no 22, I've got a 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, and 27. So I've ordered my numbers from least to greatest. Step 2 is going to be to draw a vertical line, okay, and write the tens digits from least to greatest to the left of that line. These digits are going to form what we call the stem or stems. Since the least value is 15, so my smallest value is 15, and the greatest value is 20, the stems are, well, let's look at the tens place. On each of these, I've got a 1 and a 2. So my tens values are 1 and 2. So the stems are going to be 1 and 2. All right, so you notice they drew kind of like a T-chart here. We've got stems and we've got leaves. We said our stems, or the tens place, is going to be a 1 and a 2. So 1 and a 2. Step 3 is going to be to write the ones digits in order, okay, order to the right of the line with the corresponding stem. The ones digits form the leaves. Each leaf represents one data value, so repeating values are each represented. So if a number repeats, we're going to write it as many times as it is shown. Okay, so for instance, this is 15, so that's 1, 5. That reads 15. 16, 1, 6. Okay, remember they go in order. 17, well, that's the tens place and the ones place, so 17. That would be 18 and 19. My next number is 21, so 21, 23, 24, 24 repeats, so I have another 4, 25, 25 repeats, so there's another 5, and then 27. Okay, so that's what a stem and leaf plot looks like. It just breaks it up. And then step 4 is always going to include a key that explains how to read the stem and the leaf. So for instance, when we had a 2 with the line and then the 5, so 2 line 5, that meant 25 years old. We got it from this 25 up here. So we're always going to write a key so we know how to read it. Okay, so let's look at example 2. The stem and leaf plot shows the shoe sizes of team members. They want us to interpret the data. Okay, interpret the data. So we're always going to look at our key first. If we look at our key first, that's going to tell us how to read this. So this says that 11 line 5 really means 11.5. So that means that this 9 line 0 really reads 9.0. Or the next one would be 9.5 or another 9.5. 10.0. So that's the shoe size 9 or 9.5. Okay? So it says the largest shoe size of the team members is, well, we can look at the graph and interpret that. Or if you want to, we're going to have to find the median and the range and the mode. So why don't we just take these and pull them out and write them in order from least to greatest. Okay, so like we said, that is a 9.0 because that line is really like a point or a decimal. So 9.0. Then I have 9.5. And again, I'm getting that from this key down here. They're telling me that that line really represents a decimal. I have another 9.5. 10.0, I have 3 of those. So 10.0, 10.0, 10.0. I've got two 10.5s, 10.5 and 10.5. I've got an 11.0, two 11.5s. Got a 12.0, another 12.0, and a 12.5. Okay, so these are all my shoe sizes written out in order from least to greatest. So notice I started up here in the top left and I ended down here in the top right, least to greatest. Okay, so the largest shoe size of the team members is, well, my biggest number is 12.5, so a 12.5. The median, well, let's figure out the median. Okay, so I'm down to 2 numbers. So halfway between 10.5 and 10.5. Well, that's going to be 10.5. And if you forgot how to do that, all you simply have to do is add these 2 numbers together. You get 21.0, and then we're going to take that and we're going to divide it by 2, so we're finding the average. So 21.0 divided by 2. 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 will not go into 1, so 0. And 2 goes into 10, 5. So 10.5, that's what we ended up with. Okay, so the median, or the middle right here, is 10.5. The median is 10.5, so half of the team members have a shoe size less than 10.5, okay, and half have a size larger than 10.5, because that's like our middle point. The range of shoe sizes, well, that's going to be the highest, 12.5, minus the lowest, 9.0, so 12.5 minus 9.0, 5 minus 0 is 5, 12 minus 9 is 3. So that would be 3.5. And then the mode, or the one that occurs the most, looks like that is 10.0. 10.0. I've got 1, 2, 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. I don't see anything else that has 3 that's equal to that or more. So the mode would be 10.0 or size 10. Okay. This last one, it says refer to the stem and leaf plot shown. So they've given us a stem and leaf plot. They've shown us how to interpret it with a key. So the 8 line 3 really means 83%. So that's like an 80% or an 81%, an 83%, an 84%, and so on. All right, so number 1 says, Mr. Bennett made the stem and leaf plot to represent the results of the science quiz scores for his students. What was the greatest score, least score, and range of the data? And if I look at number 2, I look ahead, it's asking me the median and the mode. So it's probably going to be easiest if we just take these out and put them in, we just write them in order, least to greatest, put them in a line. Okay, so let's do that. 80% is my first number, then I've got 81, then 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, oh, I hate doing this, 93, 95, and 97. Okay, so I put them in order, least to greatest. And remember when I said I like them all in one line? Well, that'll make sense when we're trying to find the median. You'll see how it can get kind of confusing, but that's okay. Okay, so what was the greatest score? So the greatest score, that's going to be my highest score. Well, that was a 97. What was my least score or my lowest score? Well, that was an 80. And what was the range? So the range would be 97 minus 80. 97 minus 80, and that would be 17. Number 2, what is the median? Okay, so the median and the mode, we're going to figure both those out. So the median's the middle, so beginning, end, beginning, end, beginning, end, beginning, end, beginning, end. So having them in a line really seems to help because some people get confused jumping up here, so just be careful. Beginning, end, beginning, end. So I'm left with 88 and 89. So I want to know what's halfway between 88 and 89. Well, I just know off the top of my head that halfway between 88 and 89 is 88 and a half. But if you don't know that off the top of your head, you can always figure that out by taking these two numbers and adding them together. That's 17 and then 177. And then you're going to take 177 and you're going to divide it by 2. 2 won't go into 1, but it'll go into 17 8 times. Subtract 16, you get 1. Bring down your 7. Again, 2 goes into 17 8 times. Minus 16 is 1. I need to keep going, so I'm going to add a decimal, take it up, and a 0. Bring it down. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So again, 88.5 or 88.5. So my median is 88.5. My mode is the one that occurs the most. So it looks like 93 is the one that occurs the most. And if I look up here at the stem and leaf plot, the only number that repeats is the 3. So 93% is the mode. All right, so these are your notes for stem and leaf plots.